up right, folks. In the blue, he took the last game the Kaizi needed in the first round of the playoffs. He is Spirit, formerly known as Soul. And on the bottom left, in the red, the Katowice semifinalist, excuse me, it is Ragnarok. Man, Katowice quarterfinalist rolls off the tongue so well. Yeah, Vidraz, it was, Oliveira's run was insane. So not only did he have the best story that we've ever had in StarCraft, you know, oh, what is Spirit going CC first again? Yeah, okay. Altitude's a big map. You can get away with it. So not only did Oliveira have the biggest, the best story we've ever had of a StarCraft champion. Maybe Teamless Bjorn, but he was expected to win. Maybe Cyril winning BlizzCon as the first foreigner, but he was again expected to win. Oliveira just came out of nowhere. And he went 0-6 at Atlanta. He was gonna retire it, but his dad says, yeah, you know, you're the best player in the world in my heart. Do it again. And so not only did he have the best story that we've ever had, I'm still like emotionally vulnerable from being in the stands and watching Smix and Oliveira fall apart. By the way, there's some takes saying that, man, it's so unprofessional that Smix went, and I'm like, you idiot. That elevated it. That didn't bring it down. But anyway, he had arguably one of the hardest, like, world championship runs that I've ever seen. He took down either the consensus #1 or the arguable #1 player of every race on the way. Now, there's an argument to be made that maybe Cyril is a better Zerg than Reynor is. At any given time, it kind of traces back and forth, and Reynor was certainly performing better at Katowice than Cyril was. Then he takes down the consensus by far world #1 Protoss. And then he takes down the consensus by far world #1 Terran, who, by the way, doesn't lose in TVT. And outside of like one game here or there in the final 2 series, it doesn't look close. Yeah, Vidraz, there were people on Reddit like, Smix was, you know, emotional and empathetic in her winner's interview. That's so unprofessional. How could she? It's like, it's such an uninformed take, because like the academic approach says, yes, you know, hosts aren't supposed to show emotions because they are, it takes away from the players. It's like, yeah, but that's not what happened. Anyways, Spirit's going for a bit of a 2-1-1 here, and this is, of course, it's CC first, so it is going to hit a little bit faster than, a little bit harder than it might otherwise do so. And in Ragnarok, he's on 28 workers. He got a Roachborn on the way. He's going up to about 34, 35. And it's going to be interesting to see how these two builds play into each other, because it very much matters who decides to get aggressive and who does not. If Spirit's on the other side of the map, not behind a wall, a little bit dicey. But if he's sitting behind a wall and he's got just a bunch of stim bio, it's very difficult for the roaches to pump up. Talk about Reddit being a little bit weird. There was a Reddit post that had me cackling. And it was like, I think it was like day 2 or day 3 of Katowice. That was like, what's the word? Like, man, these casters are all like socially awkward. They make jokes and then they talk about how their jokes are funny and this is not okay. It's like, dude, touch grass. Oh yeah, no, 14th. I wasn't ugly crying because, you know, as a roboticist, I don't have emotions, but I definitely was, you know, my eyes were not dry. As Ling goes for it, sees a couple of Marines. And it seems like Ragnarok has the read on this that, yeah, okay, this is a timing. Now, this is a 2-1-1. I should not run across the map into this. That's not going to work out super well, but I do have the defense that I need. I do have roaches to make sure that this happens. So, as of course, this is... Sorry, I think I said faster. I meant slower. My bad. As this is going to be a little bit slower than your standard 2-1-1. You know, it's going to move across the map at, you know, 5:15 is when the medevac's complete, right around there. Again, it is a little bit slower than your standard 2-1-1, but it does have that third base behind it. It does have that much quicker economic setup. So Spirit's going to move out on the map, but it doesn't. The damage imperative is not quite as strong as it once was. Whereas like crying Grease, no, I was not crying Grease, Scary Arganis. I'm an advanced robot, biological robot. But yeah, no. It was bad. Eon Blue was next to me, and he was crying before well, not crying, but he was, leaking tears even before the game was over. And I'm just like, yeah. When Oliveira started speaking to his fans in Mandarin, everyone lost it. We're just like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I can't handle this. Like, I'm still emotionally vulnerable. I'm not okay. In the best way possible, but. First round of medevac drops gets nothing done because, folks, there are roaches on the map, and in small numbers like this, roaches tend to be fairly strong. The question is what happens after this, right? Because 1-1 is on the way for Spirit, and it's a very late 1-1 because he did go for this 2-1-1 setup, but Bio, they're going to find their way into the mineral line. 2 workers will fall, but that should be just about that. And for now, Spirit has been mostly rebuffed, but we might be able to find a Queen now. Queens pull themselves back. Scan doesn't really find much of anything. He's scanning on the high ground, of course, and well, if medevac has to boost forward, that's going to be a dead Queen in the mineral line, and that's going to do it. So, drips and drabs. Spirit's starting to find some value, and I do like the addition of additional spores. It's something that we've started to see over the last, 18 months or so, where, maybe a little longer, where it used to be that Zergs would take it as a mark of pride. They are not going to build spores, Not going to happen. It's inefficient, but I mean, losing games because of drops is more inefficient. So yeah, just build spores on the edges of your base, especially in a map like Altitude that is such a wide open position. As the spore will burrow and Liberator gets a little bit of damage. Bio stems up and tries to knock down some group spread. We got to target that last group tumor down there. Spirit, he gets the active one, but not the inactive one. And well, both Liberators, they are very, very low. They're going to be stuck back there for a time. Really can't even find their ways out. But what they have done is successfully reposition the spore. So now the triple drop, I think that's what that was, double triple drop of Spirit on the left side. Well, it's going to find a little bit midnight. Well, actually not because it runs over something, but it's actually the wounded medevac that takes the majority of the damage. So they're going to find their way into the main base here. These Lings only just now have speed complete. So the bio is a pretty good shot. Well, but medevac, yeah, it's going to have to boost out. So 9 workers have gone down. Spirit's starting to get a little bit of damage. Thank you, Jinjin. I had the worst trip home. My flight directly from Frankfurt to Boston was canceled. So I was rerouted Frankfurt to Montreal to Boston. And then I was stuck on the tarmac for an hour for a medical emergency. And then I got in late, which meant I had a 6-hour layover instead of just, going home. It was a 26-hour journey back from Poland. Yeah, Gary Arganis, with what time, though? Anyway, 1-1 now done for Spirit, and Ragnarok is not going for just significant roach timings. He's got his hive on the way, but this is, I don't know, traditional. One roach ravager Lingbane. You get that quick hive, or honestly, it's not even that. It's quick, but it's not the quickest we've ever seen. And then you go into, well, some ultras behind that is okay, that lack of game sounds weird. Hey, Satatonic, how's it going? This is a Spirit that seems destined to go in the late game. Please start. Okay, he's not going to target the Manleys down, but they're playing cross service, so you can't really blame him too hard. And again, these spores, the fact that there are a bunch of spores here. Oh, medevac is, yeah, it's fine. The fact that there are a bunch of spores here is actually making a significant difference. When you go roach style, you hey, Chris Hansen. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As okay, Ragnarok is taking. This is actually, I think this is the first game on this map that I've seen the gold base get taken. Yeah, no, Chris Hansen. It was super gratifying to see people in the IEM feedback thread and in just different threads about IEM. Oh, nice start. The Baneling X doesn't get all that much done. Meanwhile, Marines on the right side, they're going to have to pick up. Not a lot of damage coming in from Spirit once again. He keeps trying. But Ragnarok has taken very little damage this game. And now he's got the Hive, he's got Adrenal Glands, he's got, well, Hydras are going to go on the way. Maybe Lurker Tech, we're going to have to see. But certainly, again, the Vipers, the Adrenal, that's a big deal. These Marauders are moving forward, and, well, that's going to be something. Vials don't really land, and here comes Spirit on the left side. He's going to force this army back, but, I mean, the creep's there. Don't want to run on creep. Not really. I mean, move some of your army forward, knock some of the tumors down, but... You know, Chris Hansen, it was super gratifying to see on Reddit, in Twitch chat, because, you know, I don't watch Twitch chat, but I do have it open because as a producer, I have to make sure if something's going really wrong. You know, like, oh, the audio's messed up or something. I need to be able to know that that's happening. But anyway, with all that being said, you know, it was actually really gratifying. We got a lot of really good positive feedback. Steadfast got his own shout out thread where people mentioned me too, which was really nice. So makes me very happy. Hey, Tater Tutor. So the question in this game really is, when does Spirit start to push in earnest? He's got his 3-3 on the way. Actually, it's a very late 3-3, and he's got +3 attack on the way, excuse me. He's adding in ghosts. He's almost maxed out. He's on 5 bases. But it's altitude, folks. Hey, Chris Hansen, like, we all have our favorites, right? So that's a nice scout from Ragnarok and from Spirit too, to be fair. We all can have our favorites. You know, there are casters I enjoy more than others, but you can put people up without trying to tear other people down. I appreciate that you enjoyed what I did, but again, you don't need to bring out that you hate some other caster's enemies. Oh, this is a very low orbital, but the repair is going to be fine. And meanwhile, Spirit kill the base. Spirit kill the Okay, he thinks he's got a bit more of an opportunity as here come the Vipers. Oh, great EMP, but even still, that is 2 tanks that cannot fight, well, Planetary as well. That's going to be a lot of dead SCVs hiding into a corner. Well, it's only 12. Planetary does go down. Spirit still has 4 bases. The first big bit of damage that hits the map is going to be at the hands of Ragnarok, and Spirit didn't kill the base. I'm actually really sad. This is really sad. Spirit very much should have killed that base. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't make all that big of a difference. The ghosts are starting to fall down. Biles on top of them. They're going to run away and snipe on the retreat. Well, it doesn't even matter. Everything's dead. So that's not super cost effective coming out of Ragnarok. He did DreamHack. He did the DreamHack regionals online, Gary Arganis. Okay. We have so much tech coming out of Ragnarok right now. He's got a Greater Spire. He's got a Lurker Den. He's got a Nidus. Every little bit of tools, every little bit of something that a Zerg can have to just try to play around and break a Terran in the late game, it's starting to arrive. But Spirit's now active on the map. He's just about maxed out. He's got a decent ghost count. He's going to maybe even sniping Ravagers down at this point is nice. And remember, folks, we don't have the Lurker Den just yet. We don't have any of this tech ready just yet. It's just potentials. The Bile is going to drop on top of the Spore. The Hydras can't do all that much. The Medivacs will fall, and that really should be the end of that one. This is Kaizi versus AlphaX. If you... I'm sorry, I changed the title along, but we'll fix that after this. Here comes Ragnarok moving forward once again. Exposed tank, EMP's there on the Viper, so they're not going to be able to do all that much, but you still got to run away. Back to the tank line. Tank shots are going to go down, but the Banelings kill the orbital, which is not something that should ever happen. You should be able to lift that one. Meanwhile, Nidus in the main base. Nothing in it, though, so no damage there. Just a distraction coming in from Ragnarok right now, but Spirit is maxed out, getting a lot of these Banelings on the backside, and, well, the Biles... they hit, but you have healing for that one. So resources lost is actually, it's about 6k in the favor of Ragnarok right now. And honestly, 14 minutes into a TVZ, you kind of expect it to be a little bit more. Yeah, no, I'm just incorrect. So again, Ragnarok tries to move forward, but really, even though they are cracklings, they do only have +2, and ghosts do not die to lings. Not all that easily. So we're starting to see the resource last year start to move a little bit further into the camp of Spirit, as this gold base is going to get knocked down fairly soon. It feels like the push from the Terran is starting to dominate the right side of the map, which means, well, Spirit has the 3 o'clock base. He's going to be able to knock down the gold base pretty quickly. but can he go further? There is a lot of creep spread, and specifically there's a lot of creep spread on the right side where Spirit is scanning, trying to make sure that he knows where his opponent is. He doesn't want to flank coming in from that angle. So while he did get the base, that's key. That's important. There are so many bases on this map, and this map is so big that you got to do more than getting one. Some banelings again. They're going to try to bust this planetary down. The orbital gets lifted, of course, and well, the tech should. There we go. They get most of the banelings on the way back. Banelings burrow. So generally, you burrow a Ling there. You say, okay, well, you know, let me burrow a Ling. It's going to take you a little bit longer to take the base, but banelings are interesting. I don't think you gain all that. Oh, Infestor behind enemy lines here. Ling's going to get on top of a lot of these tanks with no bio to support it. They're just all going to get knocked down. So this is a great move coming in from Ragnarok right now, breaking the defensive underbelly. But here comes the Army of Time as well. Baneling's trying to run forward, but well, the ghosts are cloaked. You can't kill them all that easily. And well, how good are the EMPs? That one Viper's got a lot of energy on it as the army moves forward. Medivacs continue to fall. One Viper has died, so that's significant. The tank line continues to move forward. Spirit rally. No, he's back at home. And that's a lot of Ling Bane on the left side trying to bust another base down. There's no defensive setup here. So it's almost a base trade. Later on into this game, yeah, Ragnarok has lost a lot. Oh, the SCVs. Oh, the SCVs. Oh, no, Spirit. Oh, no. Oh, it's actually going to be fine. The planetary will fall. That is so many. That could have been so cost-effective SCV death, even still. Well, we're going to see Liberator range go down likely. We're going to see extra starports go down. But this army from Spirit seems nigh unbreakable. The army, the supply of Ragnarok's not great. He's only on 80 army supply, down 50. I don't think he's got a lot of larva with all these hatches going down. And Spirit's just about maxed out. Carry Organis, Lings block hatcheries from, or bases from going down, and hold that thought because we got a big surround coming in. Blinding Cloud on one set of tanks, but the Vipers, they don't get much of anything else. That being said, the bio is really out of position here, so the tanks, well, some of them do go down at the start as the Banelings, they run forward, but it's not going to be enough, and Spirit maintains a significant supply lead. He lost pretty much his entire economy, but he replaces it with Army as we see the head nod here. Ragnarok, GSL semifinalist, or GSL finalist, IEM semifinalist. He falls down. In the upper right, folks, the victor of game one, it is for Kaizi Gaming in the blue, Spirit. See, we vamp there a little bit. We buy time for the zoom in. And on the bottom left, folks, in the red, the Katowice semifinalist, the GSL finalist, it's Ragnarok. The ender of days. Not dawn, not dusk, not night. Something. All right, so Bull first coming out of Ragnarok in game number 2. I wonder whether he thinks this is going to be a 2-Rax coming out of Spirit. Ancient Cisterns is another big map. This was Ragnarok's map pick, of course. I don't know, though. Maybe he expects this to be CC first, because Spirit has done that in his last 2 TVC games. But it's not. It's going to be a Reaper expand, and that means that realistically, this shouldn't get that much done. Not impossible. Oh, yeah, no, like, from a talent perspective, Zombie Grub is absolutely there, Marty V. Buren. She is, okay, she's good. And the amount of work that she puts in, the amount of work that she puts in and the amount of improvement that we've, like, she was incredible last year. She did the finals and was fantastic. But she was just on another level, this Katowice. And it was while she was sick, by the way. Okay, the Lings are going to get found out here. Reaper sitting back at home, and this should not get much of anything done. There's a Marine here as well. So you scout into the main base. Not even. Yeah, no, Zombie Grub was... I can't say this was her debut because she has been on the highest level for years, but I don't know. This was her debut from a A tier caster to an S tier caster. That's not even fair. I mean, yes, I don't know. She was on another level at Katowice. She killed it. She was in my mind by far the best talent at the tournament. I'm watching you, Marty V. Buren. You caught yourself just in time. But realistically, don't make those jokes. Yeah, we're gonna purge that anyways. I understand that's said in jest, but it's still mean-spirited, and no thank you. I know it was a joke, but it was still mean-spirited. Like, if I come in, especially so, if I'm Fear Dragon, right, Marty V. Buren, if I'm Ravi, and I come into someone's chat, and I know that there is a subsection of the community that is not the biggest fan of me. Ooh, you're doing interesting things. This might be BC play. Anyway, so I know that the community, I'm somewhat polarizing in that, you know, some of the community doesn't enjoy me all that much, and I see someone saying, you know, at least it's not, and even if they say it's a joke, I mean, let's be real. There we go. Battle Cruiser play on the way, coming in from Spirit right now. And more importantly, it's 2-port BC. Oh. This is fun. We saw Special go 3-port BC. Technically 4-port BC, but he lost one of them. In a game against Cyril that he lost. But we did see several 2-port BC games. And where are the Marines? They're in the natural. This is looking like it might just get scouted. Okay, so one starport is going to get scouted out of here. Marines are going to try to find it. Is the second one? Yeah, okay. Massive scout there from Ragnarok. And we see the giggle. Oh, we see the giggle. He knows. I mean, okay. Yeah, he knows that he doesn't see the fusion core, but let's be real, folks. It's not 2-port Banshee. I mean, I guess it could be. But you still want spores in your mineral lines. Like, the defense is not that different. The interesting thing, though, is that there is another barracks on the way. So this is 2-port BC into bio. You know, even regular battle cruiser into bio is not the most common thing, but 2-port BC into bio. I think there was a Maru game where he did that. I think Maru killed Ragnarok with this, actually. I don't remember. I need to go back and take a look at things. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, okay. He's just going up to 5. 4 racks? Okay, yeah, he's just rounding out his barracks count as the Ling's going to find his way into the natural. Scouts out that, yes, there's a barracks on the way, I guess. So, yeah, this is just going to be for 5 racks, but big run. No, never mind. Into the third base where there are all the Marines because, folks, there's not a lot on the ground, and Spirit has left himself absolutely wide open. So all the Marines on the third base will go down. STVs are going to have to run away, but there's nowhere for them to run. If you want to open the wall up, that means the Lings are going to be able to find their way into the natural. So this is a massive catch here for Ragnarok. He got all the Marines on the map. You know, he denied the third base mining for quite a while, but he will have to deal with these 2-port BC. So workers are dying. Spire is on the way, you know, right? And it was on the way as fast as possible, but even still, 2-port BC is a lot of damage. And we'll see one of... Okay, no spores are going to go down. One battlecruiser gets low, but Baneling busts in the natural. STVs have to... Or Marines have to split at the last second they do, but even still, this tank is dead. And actually, I think Spirit is dead. Mules are going to land, well, right as the Lings show up. So there's going to be just about useless mules and nowhere for the STVs to run. And the battlecruisers need to get so much damage done. Now, they need to get more damage done than they ever possibly could. Ragnarok has the soul read on this. Or not even the soul read. He had the good scout. He knows what's up. And he killed Spirit just as Spirit killed him. In the upper left, folks, in the blue, the scariest player from IEM Katowice, he is Reynor. And in the bottom right, in the red for AlphaX, Zhaun. And yes, I say that Reynor was the scariest player from Katowice, even though he didn't win Katowice. Hey, Hasnabui. 14 months. Thank you so much. Yes, TM9001. WTL is a Chinese circuit. Is the World Team League, the successor of the Golden Team League. And it is run by SC Boy and Jelsa F91. It's awesome. They are talking about having an offline playoffs for the summer season coming up. And I believe that they have mentioned that they would, in Roddy's cast, their English liaison showed up. And I believe that he has mentioned that they want to bring out Roddy and Wardy to have on-site English coverage of the broadcast. I get why you're saying that, Marty V. Buren, that no one would beat Reynor if Oliveira hadn't, but I don't know. Maru was in really good form. And historically, Reynor has always struggled against Maru. Yes, he's beaten him, but Maru's really solid defensive style runs it into a problem against Reynor's just pell-mell aggression. Because Maru more often than not can hold on, and Reynor, outtrades himself and he falls down. And we saw how good Hero looked against Protoss, or against Zergs. And he was saying, of course, the patch and the maps were better for him than the previous sets. So while I don't think that anyone is favored against Reynor, I don't think that anyone, I think that's true of a lot of the top players. I don't know that anyone's favored against Maru or favored against Hero either. Yeah, Marty V. Buren. We've been lucky enough to get one Cyril Maru finals, which was King of Battles. No. There was one more recent than that. I had the first one. Oh, but okay, Reynor's doing the thing. So this was a build that he was doing every opportunity on Neo Humanity against Protoss players. He did it to Showtime, and that was the one time it didn't work because Showtime had early adepts across the map and denied the third base from happening, and then Reynor had to take an awkward third base, and he went for the timing and did not work out. But this forward base is important for several reasons as the Zerg. First of all, it means your creep is very far forward. It means that you are able to have a launching point, a reproduction point, that is very, very close to where the Protoss wants to take their third base. I mean, that's almost always true, Marty V. Buren, where if you have a really good semis, you have a really bad finals. We were lucky that, I guess in fairness, the semis wasn't great on either side. I mean, the Oliveira Hero series was good because of the story, and that awesome SCV pool, but the games themselves weren't incredible and made a good finals, so... Anyways, this is another benefit, right, of Neo Humanity here. You have so much forward position that there can be no early aggression coming out of the Protoss player for the most part here. I mean, you can drop, but it is so far across the map on the ground. So Reynor, he has this forward position. He's going to be able to really power up. And behind it, well, it's not like the Protoss player can do all that much. So Reynor gets a scout off, sees that there is no third base at either position. And, oh, this is fun. So... Glaive Adepts just about done. War Prism on the right side. Reynor doesn't know about this one. Oh, no, he does. Okay, there we go. He's got the Watchtower. But there's a Dark Shrine behind this. The question now is whether Reynor heals this. Does he have Spores down? Does he have a lair? Is he able to deal with the Dark Templars that are going to arrive as the Adepts now they find their way into the Rich Vespine base? They cancel their shades, but there's going to be a lot of dead Adepts. Meanwhile, we're watching the Warp Prism. Where does it go? I can't really see it on the minimap right now. There we go. Yeah, warping into the natural position. So we're going to see Adepts into the main base and the third at the same time. 5-6 workers have already gone down. But Reynor, okay, that's a great scout. He sees the Dark Shrine. He's got Spores going up in the main base. He's going to have to drop Spores at every base, but still, this is 10 dead workers here. It's expensive for the Italian Stallion going forward, even as he does kill a lot of the Adepts. That's fair, Marty V. Buren. I think my series, if I'm going to say there is one best of 7, and maybe I'm biased because I cast it, but if there's like one best of 7 that I would have to choose, like, wow, oh, there we go. See, the rocks are down. The Warp Prism's not there. Reynor really reaping the fruits of his setup from earlier. It means he's going to get a couple of these Adepts. No shading out. Now, of course, he broke the rocks down to make sure his opponent could run across the map and attack him. But it works equally well to defend, I guess, as these adepts are not going to get all that much done. Roach is already in position to deal, well, with the spores that are there, so that's going to have to be Warp Prism, turn them into Archons later on. But for my money, the best series that I have seen was actually Cyril and Maru. King of Battles 2 Grand Finals, because it was a Maru that was starting to play that really defensive styles. Oh, Lings are going to... This is a third base that's not going to get up. Where Maru was just starting to figure out his defensive style. He wasn't unbreakable just yet. So they played 6 incredible games, massive comebacks, and for my money, it was like one of the greatest series I've ever seen. It would have been better if it went to 7 games, of course, but I can't be too disappointed. As here comes the DTs once again, looking for a salient point, but nope, they're not going to find much of that there anyways. They're going to get a Roach, sure, and actually, well, yeah, no. Yes, Marty V. Buren. Cyril and Maru from King of Battles 2. And again, I might be a little biased because I cast it, but it was a very good series. So I love what we have Zhao doing here. Normally you'd warp in a 4th Dark Templar and you'd start Archon dropping and it's fine. He's keeping them as DTs. And he's just sniping out little bits here or there. He's necessitating detection all over the map. That's just kind of a different way to play. It's super cool. And is there detection here? Of course, we do have a lair, but 3 DTs can kill a base fairly quickly. And where is our detection? There's the Overseer. Reynor is going to get a DT, keeps his base alive, just barely. And of course, without Overseer speed, Overlord speed, it takes a moment. BP Sun, these games were played this morning. I am casting them live. Hello, hi. Now Blink is done. Zhao has had his third base up for just a little bit of time, but certainly he's getting his 4th base up now. Reynor, black and upgrades. No, I don't know if he has some Evo chambers. But the scary thing is not... Oh, Archon? Archon is going to try to get Reynor's 4th base, but I'm not sure that it really matters. Look at the supply, folks. It is 100 army supply to 50. Baneleys are morphing in 30 of them. Bailey speed is done, and Reynor will lose the base. Okay, fine. Zhao, can you hold on here? Can you defend against this massive swell of roaches? That is the really big question. So for now, Reynor moves forward. Bile is not going to hit much of anything. And yes, the Stalkers are doing a great job trading against the Roaches and the Ravagers, but the Baileys, they run in and they force the Stalkers to wholesale blink backwards, which means you just can't trade against the Roaches nearly as well. Now Baileys continue to run forward, try to get on top of the static defense. That is going to be a shield battery overcharge. That does absolutely nothing. So the Stalkers continue to micro backwards as well as they can. Archon has been recalled back on home, but it is, well, shield battery overcharge is going to get dropped down. Even as Zhao tries to power it with his Warp Prism, it does not matter. The Archon is dead. Probes are going to have to get pulled. And folks, while Reynor's supply has started to fall, the supply of his opponent has started to fall even further. Zhao just got a little bit too greedy and didn't get enough damage done in the early game. He's fighting desperately, doing what he can, but the Stalkers they warp in, they're just dying. The Zealots that they warp in, they're dying as well. And it's 78 army supply, 78 supply to 138. Warp Prism's dead, 3rd base is dead. Reynor takes his first body of the 2nd series that he's playing, and he's feeling a little bit happy about it. And all right, folks, in the blue, he's taking his first body, but he wants to be able to take more. It is Reynor. And on the bottom left, folks, in the red, down a map in the series for AlphaX. Give it up. Zhao. Zone. A resounding success. Although game 1, number 1 was in fact not a success. My pleasure. And in hand tuna. Are you saying, does that come from the old saying for us that says a tuna in hand is worth 2 in the bush? Yeah, well, I haven't streamed for like 2 weeks. Just got back from Katowice. Really everyone in like the StarCraft world is still like emotionally recovering from the Katowice run. So yeah, normally like at this point in the broadcast, I'd be like over 100, but whatever, you know. Yeah. So technically, Zoun is supposed to be pronounced Joun, but like, who's got time for that? I don't have 2 syllables. I don't have room for 2 syllables. In fact, we need to cast everyone monosyllabically from here on out. He's Ray. He's Zoun. Although if I say Ray too much, I'm gonna start declining Latin, you know, because the word for king is like res rem re. Although that's REI, so that doesn't all that work. And REI is a clothing outfitter, not a king. We're getting all sorts of confused. No. Rain is a Protoss player that now plays, or a Terran player, but the one I'm thinking of plays Brood War now. He's not a StarCraft pro. Nice try, Bakano Proto, but go again. So again, we did see some of the strength that Reynor has been talking about going into Katowice, about how good his ZVP was. And it's unfortunate he played Creator and he played Estrella. I think that was his group. I have a spreadsheet, folks. I can look it up again. Yeah, played Estrella, Creator, and Showtime. And he won all of those series, of course, but I don't know. I wanted to, with how good he's been talking about how his PVZ was, his ZVP was, I really wanted to see him play Hero. Yeah, that's always fun, Marty V. Buren. It was, I think it was IEM last year. People were getting all up in arms that I was saying Joun, and I'm like, okay, Joan of Arc. Fine. You got me. But anyway. Roach one on the way here from Reynor, of course, because this is a Glaives build, and folks, Zoun is a proprietor of the Glaives build. He was the one that invented the Disruptor follow-up, and now Disruptors are nerfed. It actually surprised me how much we saw Disruptors at Katowice, because Disruptors in this matchup are a kill unit. In PvT and PvP, in PvP they're both, but specifically in PvT they're a zoning unit. Their job is to, yes, kill if they can, but really to force the Terran to disengage and re-engage and make their fights really complicated. So you can have sustained DPS while the Terrans are running and not fighting. As Ling dives in and gets the probe. But in this matchup, they're a kill unit, which means the Disruptor nerf should affect this one the most. But anyway, Roaches are on the way to defend this pressure. Reynor is supply blocked, but he's aware of what's happening, and this is a much quicker third. This is a delayed robo, so while this is a Glaives setup, it's not a Glaives timing per se, as the Depths find their way into the third base. Rest of them looks like they're going on the left side, but 3 workers for 2 Adepts, not horrible. And the Adepts are going to try to find their way in the natural, but again, Reynor's very much on top of this. Layer on the way, additional drones. He had the solid read. He saw how delayed the robo was, and that told him that this was not going to be some massive commitment. Some, oh, wow, you know, I'm going to go kill. Like, I'm building 30 Adepts. No. And yeah, we'll be the destroyer. Oh, okay. Zoun reaching back into his bag of tricks. Going back in time. Now, the funniest part, by the way, at Katowice was not, I mean, the games were cool and whatever. But I had multiple people add me on LinkedIn, like game developers. They're like, oh, wow, I saw you casting, I saw your interview or whatever. Hey, I'm doing an RTS. I'm like, okay, sure, fine. You know, I'll talk to you. But like, that is not how I ever expected LinkedIn to ever work. Anyways, Adepts try to find their way in once again. 2 more workers will fall, and there we go. Warp Prism speed on the way. Disruptors getting added in. And folks, the question now is how good are the balls? Are they going to be great balls of fire as that one song is gone? Or are they... I don't know. What's a bad ball? Are they going to come in like a wrecking ball? Anyway, his third base for now is going to be put under pressure. These are enough lanes to cancel this thing fairly quickly if there is no reaction. So the depths are going to shade on over, and well, that means Reynor's going to have to shade on or run on out of here. But it is still damage that is going to go down on the hull of that third base, which is always nice if Reynor wants to try to bust this one down later on. The question is how much, again, it all matters, all relies on these disruptor drops. How much damage they get done, both as drops, and also how much damage they get done, how much damage they're able to do to Reynor's army as he moves out on the map. But here's what's interesting. I'm almost tempted to say that this is going to be the all-in version, right? Where you see is 2 Disruptors, 2 Colossus, Blink Stalkers, and you run across the map. But that 4th base tells me otherwise. So seeing the fact that there are Colossus getting added in here is actually really cool. I'm excited to see what exactly Zhao has in store for us. Now, part of it may be a reaction. These Disruptors are going to try to snipe a Queen. They don't get anything. They get 2 workers and damage on Queen. Not really all that significant. I'm curious to see whether this is a reaction to how the Viper has been nerfed. Certainly, Reynor's not moving into Hive all that quickly anyways. In fact, I think he may be getting ready for an attack of his own. That's a lot of Banelings morphing in. He's got +2 on the way, not done just yet. But Reynor's going to max out very, very quickly. So tons of Banelings on the left side. Stalkers are not going to be aware of that. They're not going to scout that out. And meanwhile, the majority of Reynor's army is on the right side here. He's just going to try to make it impossible for what Xian wants to do. Disruptors are going to explode their loads immediately, and the balls do not find the connections that they want. So Banelings into the third base, where Reynor is going to try to dive in. Force fields are nice. Banelings still get on top of the army. Biles, they continue to land. This Colossus is consistent DPS, to be sure, but it can only micro backwards. Warp Prism is going to try to keep things alive as much as it can. Banelings continue to try to get on top of these robo units, and the probes are going to have to get pulled. They're all going to go down. Disruptors, they land on absolutely nothing. This Colossus stands strong, but folks, there is nothing on the ground to support it. So there's another Colossus in the natural. Reynor is going to try to target that one down. Shield Battery Overcharge keeps it alive, but well, that Shield Battery is not going to last all that long. Oh, okay, it will actually. Interestingly enough, the Disruptors have fallen, but it is still all on these Colossus. Biles are going to land once again. Disruptor on the left side triggers a Baneling. That's fun. Or Colossus on the left side triggers a Baneling. That's fun. But Micro for your life here's down. What can he make happen? Banelings, they come rolling in. He saves one Colossus. He saves the second, but now more workers have fallen, and the third base is under threat. So even if you keep the Colossus alive at this point, it is going to be a tough road to hoe for Xian at this point, as Reynor's realizing that he has, in fact, won again. And he has made it possible for himself to go try to kill more AlphaX. And the upper left, folks, in the blue for Kaizi Gaming, Reynor. I tried. I failed. Wasn't timed out properly. But so it goes. And the bottom right, in the red, for AlphaX, arguably the best Western Protoss player this year, it is Estrella. Max D. Angel. God, what a Chad name. And I don't know what it was. So Estrella didn't have great results in anything but home story cups, but he killed it at home story. I mean, sure, second place at DreamHack North America, but that online cup, you know, he's only contending realistically with 3 other players now. You know, Trigger's been looking very good, but you know, historically it's Scarlet, Neeb, and Estrella are top 3. Just the question is where they're going to go. And more recently, it has been Scarlet 3, Estrella 2, Neeb 1. But he had an incredible run at both home story cups. You know, he made the finals of home story cup too. Losing eventually, by the way, to the player that the Zerg player that's in this game right now in Reynor. Although he did make it somewhat close, if I remember. Some of the series were fairly good, or some of the games were fairly good. But unfortunately, that was Home Story Cup, and he was not nearly as good at IEM Katowice. In fact, I don't think he won a single series. I don't remember. I'm looking right now. Oh, by the way, one of the Chinese casters that does this event is F91, and today is his birthday. So happy birthday, F91. Yeah, Estrella didn't win a single series, only won 3 maps in Group B, which, by the way, this is a rematch of that series that Reynor and Estrella played, where Estrella did take a map off Reynor, and honestly, in this format, that's all you need to do. You don't need to win a series. You just need to take a single map off the scary player, and that knocks them out. That's fair, Mighty VBR, and I'm a big Scarlet fan too, but, you know, she's just been kind of sliding down it. She had a great WTL summer, and I thought that was going to be the start of something, and then, I don't know. Too busy leading the Zerg Cabal to make sure that Terrans and Protoss would never win again, and it would only be Zerg in the round of 4 of Katowice, only Zerg in the finals of Katowice. Oh. Wait, that didn't happen? Wait, there was actually no Zerg in the finals? Wait, what? Oh, yeah, so Preacher D, this is how this works. AlphaX has 2 players remaining. They have 2 losses remaining. Estrella, and then 1 revive. So actually, in general, the way this works, each team has 4 total losses. They are set up to play 4 best of 2s. Every time a player goes up. So say it was Spirit and Ragnarok in the first series. If it was a 1-1, both Spirit and Ragnarok get knocked out. You can still revive them, but they got knocked out as the Oracle dives in, but it's a little bit mistimed. So, well, it's going to get some damage done, but that's a lot of hull damage, and, well, Adept didn't get much done either, so really not the damage Destroyer was looking for. Anyways, so if you go 1-1, both players are knocked out. They can't play again. That is 1 life gone from each team. If someone 2-0s, that player stays alive, and the other player is knocked out. So, for example, when Reynor 2-0'd down, Reynor stayed alive. He kept his point alive on the board, so Kaizi still had 3 lives, 3 points. AlphaX lost their life. So now they're down to 2 points here, and Estrella has to kill Reynor, ideally 2-0 him to bring them back to parity. If that makes sense. I understand it's a little complicated. Effectively, your players, you have to win 4 maps before, you have to win 4 maps in total almost before you, well, yeah, it's not even what you have to lose 4 maps, but you have to lose 4 maps across best of 2s. It's honestly a super sick format, TM9001. The problem is, of course, it's just really hard to explain. As the Oracle dives in, drones actually mispulled for a second, but actually, where were they? No, they weren't. That's right. So that was actually a little bit of fun little micro there from Reynor. So he pulls the drones towards where the Oracle is, and you might say, oh, that's a mispull. Well, it's actually not, because Oracles have a high acceleration deceleration value. So it takes a lot for them to turn around. So if you pull them in the direction that the Oracle's already moving, it's actually very hard for the Oracle to turn around and kill those workers. So in a situation like that, pulling your workers away from the Oracle makes it easier for the Oracle to kill your workers than it is if you just kept them in place, which seems super weird. The Oracles dive in. Once again, a couple more workers will go down. And Reynor is on 55 workers. He's going for a bit of a Mio Micah build. Hydra's on the way, Lings as well. Does he drone up any more, or is this just it? I don't know, but we're going to find out. You need a more detailed explanation, Africanus. Oh, by the way, there was someone that was asking me about particle physics. I told him we needed to wait until you showed up. So then he said he was going to ask you about axions. Anyway, Queens now move out of the map. Adepts have been forced back. And yeah, Reynor's just pulling a Mio Micah. Hydra's across the map. He's not even getting Hydra's. Like, The reason you go Hydras here, folks, the reason Hydras are good is because of the, well, I guess part of it. Oh, Archon's dropping on top of the, ooh, Archon's dropping on top of the Hydras here is a bit awkward, but you have to be so careful. You cannot afford to lose this War Prism. The Queens are now walking, and this War Prism is taking no hull damage just yet. Banelings, of course, do not have speed. Charge is on the way. This is a slim timing coming in from Reynor right now. Can Estrella make the hold happen? Nothing really deals with these Archons, really at all. It's Hydras. Well, it's Queens. Hydras, they have to stay out of range, so Lings are going to try to get damage done. We're going to see these Stasis Traps. They're not going to get much of anything. Lings in the high ground, well, they're doing something, but it is just a distraction. Big deal, of course, the Stasis Traps doesn't get all that much done. Is Reynor just sitting here on hold position. Hydras shelling away at the choke. You can't run through this, even if you do have charge. So the Banelings have been pulled away. They don't want to get triggered until the very last second. The longer this goes, of course, the better it is for Estrella. But it is still going to take a while for this to happen, as one gateway will go down. Ling tries to run forward. Stasis Traps defensively are all set up. And now there's Hydra Speed on the way. That's really what you're looking for, but I like this. Oh, there we go. So the lair is done. So Creep Tumors go down. The Queens will be able to move, and they're going to be able to transfuse. So that is super cool, as Estrella setting up a bit of a flank on the right side. And this is starting to get scary for Reynor, to be totally honest. That is a lot of chargeless. That is a lot of Archons. This is an army that Estrella is making that does a very good job of breaking down exactly what Estrella or what Reynor has. And actually, this counterattack, tons of charge lots onto the third base, is going to pull Reynor back home. He needs his Banelings back at home. Hydras do not fight this well at all. So it seems like Estrella has held on. Yeah, you know, it was a little bit scary. He lost a gateway. He lost a cyber. But this army from Reynor is not all that encouraging. He's losing a lot of Queens, losing a lot of Queen energy. The Banelings have to run forward. And it's +1 upgrades. You know, everything that Estrella has at this point is in a just fantastic position. I mean, Marty V. Buren, we talk about the Mio. We talk about the fabled Mio Micah build all the time. In fact, it's kind of funny. This is not a, well, I guess I should say Mio Micah style build, but I got a couple of builds from Mio Micah when I was playing in the big brain bouts, and I never got to use them. But, you know, yeah, it's not great for the Zerg. Of course, this is Reynor, and he's arguably the most clutch Zerg in existence, but this is not great for the Zerg, to be totally frank, you know. Zealot's going to show up in the main base. Estrella is up in armies, up in total supply, which is never where you want to be in a... effectively, before the Zerg maxes out, a couple Zealots are going to kill more and more workers before they fall. But I guess the big deal is this is Hydraling Bane, and there's no storms. You know, there's no... there are a lot... Oh, that is so many... What is that, 6 Archons? 7 Archons. How the hell do you bust through that? I mean, Reynor, I know you're an aggressive player. I know you have that ability, but there are Disruptors. There are 7 Archons. How the hell do you bust through this? It's going to be interesting, indeed. And Reynor, I mean, he doesn't have the supply for it. He's 166 out of 170. He's got his... Well, he's got the forward base on the way. Zealots coming in from the right side. A lot of them from the left side as well. Hydra's doing a good job defensively in the main. And actually, you know what? Reynor's handling this defense pretty nicely. But he's got an army. He's got a composition that times out. It times out very, very quickly. One storm, if that happens, shows up. Actually, is there a storm? I didn't miss that, did I? I don't think so. It's like one storm is ready. This army is just paper. Even now, it's not a great army against what Estrella has. It does come down to the engagements and how many Banelings do you have. So Zealots are going to find a queen. That's going to be nice. Try to find some drones as well. But again, Reynor is on 4 hatch at the very least. But Estrella's on 4 bases too. Estrella is also massively far ahead in upgrades here. We're looking at +1 just about done for the Zerg. It's +3 halfway done for Estrella at this point. And, you know, part of this is, of course, the fact that, well, upgrades are, I think, in total 30 seconds faster on the new changes, something like that. Like, they're significantly faster. But also, it's because Reynor went for a timing that didn't work. Evan Berjali, the games were played this morning, but I am live. Hi, hello. Live and in living color. Straight to your bedroom from New Hampshire. Or straight to your phone or your PC or whatever it is. But Reynor is now maxed out. He's on 59 workers. That is a lot of army. Lots of Lings, lots of Banes. But he has to be careful because, well, there's actually those stasis traps are just about to time out. Ling's run forward, trying to trigger them off. Triggers on some of the Banes. Disruptor on the bottom side. How much is he going to get? I don't know. Cannot really see it. But Hydra's actually fighting pretty well against the Archons on the north side. So round one, Reynor pairs away some of the expensive units that Astray has and doesn't trade too much on his own as the Zealots again to go for run by. But Reynor's got decent creep spread, so he's able to retreat. Not lose too many workers probably, but even still 3 workers fall, and that's just not great. But the Hydras, they deal with this for the most part. Big deal though, Reynor lost a lot of his Banelings. He only has 13 on the map right now, and you do want a lot of Banes, but I guess against this army, you don't really need a ton, right? So, man, okay, army moves in. Disruptor is not going to get all that much done. Actually, the Disruptors are not getting the shots they need whatsoever, and Reynor targets the rest of them down. One last shot, but there we go. That's what you're looking for with the new, well, with the faster Hydras. And there are so many Hydras in this game. There's no storm, folks. It's 45 Hydras moving up the map. It is a pure Hydra composition. And in all honesty, with the Queens here for a little bit of transfused energy for just a little bit more, this is an army that can absolutely bust down what Astray has. You can split against the Disruptors, target them down if you can. There we go. The Immortals, they're not doing anything. And the Carriers, they're just starting to join the fray, but they are just so many Hydras that I'm not sure how much it matters. Even with +1 air, the third base is going to go down. Disruptors, they get a couple more Hydras, but there's just too much anti-air. And Reynor, excuse me, Reynor in this game where it felt like he was behind and in not a good position the entire game. Well, he just builds like 50 Hydras and wins the game anyways. Because I don't really know how you defend against this anymore. That is crazy. You build 50 Hydras on 40 workers. And the Disruptor's getting, oh, that's a massive shot. But the problem is right now, there's just no interceptors. As I say that, though, supplies are starting to equalize. Astray is up in army supplies. Disruptors will move forward, or Hydras will move forward. Another decent Disruptor shot, 50 gas down the drain, or was that 100 gas down the drain? And the Zealots got a lot done, right? They have killed a decent amount here. Disruptors continue to find the damage they wanted. I was talking about how this was going to be Astray is just dead. No, he's not. Astray makes the comeback happen. And, well, Reynor's body falls to the floor here. Astray makes the hold. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. The bottom right, folks, in the blue, looking to knock down AlphaX's last normal life. He is Reynor. And the upper left, folks, in the red. He's up a game. He is, for AlphaX, Astrea. I mean, we've known the Cabal has been dead for a while, Africanus. Someone posted on Reddit today, like, ladder win rates in GM. And the Zerg win rates in GM have been cratering since the patch. I think Zerg had a positive TVZ win rate in Katowice. Let me look. Yeah, Zerg was 55-45 in TVZ. PVZ was Protoss favored by a little bit. I'm sorry for the flashbang, folks. I do apologize. That is never my intention to make it impossible for you all to see. But it's funny, Reynor, he was talking up his ZVP in the extreme, going into Katowice. I talked to him a little bit. He's like, yeah, no, it's so good. And in all honesty, his ZVTs looked incredible. I mean, he lost to Oliveira, but Oliveira's the world champion. Can you be too upset? He's looked, much more vulnerable against Protoss. Much more vulnerable against Protoss. Again, I just find this surprising, considering how positive he was feeling about his ZVP. What does Astray have in store for us in game number 2? I mean, that was a great hold, but in part it was well, Reynor went for 55 drone Hydroling all in and kind of got hard countered by what Astray was going for. And that is just a little bit awkward. So, it's going to be a quick robo coming out of Australia in this second game. Did I miss a Twilight? I don't think so. Okay, this is going to be interesting here. Quick robo like this generally, yeah, okay. So, quick robo before the Twilight. This is something that Hero has been messing around with Australia as well, where you get that quicker, you get the quicker gateways, and you run across the map with a really quick warp prism, right? And it doesn't have much tech behind it, but it is just aggression, right? It is, and you start to tech behind that one, but calling it a 4-gate robo is, well, actually, as I said, this is not what it's going to be. So Immortal getting chroned out behind this, and okay, 6-gate robo. We're going to see a lot of aggression coming out of, or 5-6-8 robo. There we go. There's the 6. We're going to see a lot of aggression coming out of Australia in this game number 2, and Dragon Scales is a short map, so you can get away with it. 7-gate robo, 8-gate. Oh, okay. So how much gas? It's off 1 gas. Okay, very cool. He's gonna get 1 Immortal, I think. Yeah, he's no longer mining any gas. So, correct. I'm probably giving the wrong name to this because I don't remember exactly what the Marjorie was, but something in the idea of a Marjorie, right? Where it's 8 gates. It's a lot of stuff. You have 1 Immortal there for the punch. You don't mine any gas once it happens. It's just tons of zealots. So that seems to be what is happening here, and we have warpins even before the gateways are done, even before the pylons are done. Reynor seems to have misread this a little bit. He's got spores on the way. You need spines, Reynor. You need units, and that is something that is going to be in short supply for the moment. So Ling's looking for the counterattack, but again, there's a full wall just there, and more Rosella's warping in. Lings are not what you want, by the way, in this defense. It's roaches. There's only 1 Immortal. You want to be able to kite away against the Zealots over and over and over again. I do like the decision, by the way, to run a Spore forward to maybe try to knock down a Warp Prism, but the Immortals, the Stalkers, are already in the natural, and that's going to be a dead Spore very quickly. Lings look for the surround. Immortal getting very low. There's no healing on it. There's no save because the Warp Prism cannot get close. The Immortal is dead, and as much as we said, hey, you know, Reynor, you're not ready for this, it seems like he absolutely was. The queens are pulled down. Everything on the ground is dead. And folks, Estrella is dead here in the second game of the series. But he takes his body. He does what he came here to do. Reynor is not going to be able to play more in this series unless they revive him. And that means, folks, you know what this means? We get to see Oliveira. We get to see our first look at the reigning world champion. Back home. In the bottom right, folks, in the blue, the reigning world champion from Kaizi Gaming. He's the normal man. He is Oliveira. And in the upper left, in the red, 2022 was his year. The IEM Katowice semifinalist. It is Ragnarok. God, I love Oliveira so much. Like, oh, they have him in studio too? Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. So most players, you know, like, look at that. Ragnarok's playing from home. But of course, Oliveira is Chinese, and they have him in the, I want to say the studio's in Shanghai. But they have him in the WTL studio playing. They got a good camera on him. I mean, if you're in studio, you think you'd frame the webcam better. But anyways, this is awesome. I wonder if we're going to get a winner interview from Oliveira if Kaizi pulls it out. Now, they have Oliveira can lose, and then their revive can lose. All right, Oliveira can lose, and they will still have their revive, and then it's going to go down to ace match. But Oliveira just needs to win 1 map here. That's it. And folks, some might say his TVZ is pretty good. Reverse sweeping Reynor is no mean feat, especially after what had to have been just the most frustrating loss to game 2 ever, where he loses. I mean, granted, he was behind, but he had the comeback solidly in his favor. And then he lost it to 1 Bane. I mean, that's got to be mentally draining. And he reverse sweeps anyways. Ooh, nice little bit of micro there from Time. Kills a Ling. I mean, at the end of the day, it's 25 minerals and doesn't really matter, but it's fun, right? It just is. It's more than anything a marker of, okay, how is the Terran feeling? You know, are they feeling fast? Are they going to be able to be aggressive on the map? Are they just going to play very defensively? Well, for now, Oliveira seems like he does want to get a little bit aggressive as he, well, behind this, he is going 3CC plays, so mixture, right? He's feeling fast, but he's still going for that 3CC play. And again, this makes sense. This is what we saw Spirit do against Cham. Yeah, Spirit against Cham in the previous series. You go and you go 3CC. You only have to win one of the 2 games in the series. You might as well play standard, play maybe even a little bit greedy, but realistically 3CC is not that greedy. It wasn't like a 220 third base or something like Barracks, or like it wasn't like Barracks CC command center or something like that. Like you can definitely get greedier. Oh, nice little job there. Oliveira knocks down a creep tumor. And we've been seeing more and more of this Liberator play, and it makes sense, you know? Liberators are, in fact, much cheaper. They cast 25 gas less than they did before the patch, so that means you can go and get just that much faster of a stim, for example, and still get Liberators. You can go... we've actually seen Liberator Raven, which was kind of cool. Not as in this matchup as much, but anyways... You get Liberators, they just allow, they streamline your path into tech just a little bit more. So the Hellions are going to try to dive forward. We don't get to see it, but that's fine. Did they get any creep? Don't know. Certainly, though, Ragnarok got a good scout. He saw the Liberator come out in time, so the Spores timed out perfectly. They pop right as the Liberator arrives, and you don't see that all that often. It's the Hellions again, not able to get that much done. And now here's the question, because there are roaches on the way, folks. I guess they're defensive roaches. Never mind. I was gonna make some big deal about how they're, well, actually, wait, it's 46 drones. More overlords. Yeah, okay. The question now is whether Oliveira is going to be prepared to scout this or whether he's going to be prepared to defend this. Because that is a lot of roaches on the map. 26 more Lings on the way. It's an all-in coming in from Ragnarok with everything on the line. With you lose this game, Ragnarok, you're out of the tournament. This is what he is choosing to go for. And Oliveira, he was able to see it. He saw the roaches on the map. Hellions are now going to run home. And, well, Oliveira needs to make his defense happen right now. But oh, no, he doesn't know. I thought he had the read. He does not. Third base now on the way. Oliveira, he's going to find things now. He's going to find a lot of these Lings, and that is the tell. Lings and roaches trying to find their way on the high ground. SCVs are going to get pulled to try to keep this thing alive. And the Hellions, well, the Reaper falls. Hellions get juicy, juicy damage. Liberator's going to siege the front up as well here. And I really like this tank Liberator position. You can bile to break the... Well, okay, SCVs won't be able to keep the tank alive. But you can either bile to break the wall, or you can bile to kill the tanks. And the Liberator is there as well. So there are 3 different targets. You can only get one. It denies, it delays. And that means that Ragnarok is not, in fact, going to kill his opponent. Scan on the third base. You're going to see, okay, more gas here. And Liberator will not even go down. Good unsiege, re-siege with the tank as well. The Roaches, Ravagers, they're not going to get much done. And the Hellions, they try to dive in. Link zone. They swallow that one whole. Now Oliveira. His upgrades are just about done. He has stim. I believe combat shields are done as well. And he's now unlocked to be on the map. He can do what he wants because Ragnarok is going to be droning up like a madman behind this. Trying to make sure that he can come back into this game because remember, he cut workers at 46. That was committed. It wasn't necessarily all in. I think I said it wasn't. I was incorrect. But it was committed pressure. And what did he do? He just denied the third base briefly. Not nearly enough damage. So Oliveira now into the main base here. He's going to find some Evo chambers, and that might be a nice little bit of a bounty, but stims forward. Yeah, Lings are going to have to deal with this one, but +1 is going to be denied. +1 Carapace. Okay, yeah, there we go. +1 is going to be denied. Cannot get the Carapace, though. Arguably, well, not arguably, when you're playing Ling Bane, Carapace is by far the more important upgrade. It means your Banelings can connect better, but you want both. So Liberators unsiege, resiege, denying mining at this third base for quite a while. And Oliveira's upgrades are now done. He's got 1-1 complete here. Biostimming in on the left side, getting as much as he can, knocking down creeplings will continue to fall. But is there an armory? That's the big question. There we go. Okay, so +2 is on the way. It's funny, folks. I look at this game, and if you took away the nameplates, I would think that time is playing. And or excuse me, this is time. I would think that Spirit would be playing in the second game, or in this game. It's second factory, or a fourth base on the way. Like just very, very macro, very, very late game focused. Actually, maybe there's not a fourth base. Never mind. Anyways, have we ever thought about the fact that, oh, no, Ragnarok. He's going to lose Carapace as well. That is, we talked about it was okay because, well, he only lost attack, but losing Carapace is pain, losing Ravagers is pain, and, well, everything is pain. It's an uncomfortable life if you are a Zerg player. Oliveira's going to have 4 upgrades. He's going to have 4 upgrades. He's going to be 4 upgrades ahead of his opponent. And that is just not what you want to see. The creep's now going to get knocked down. Queens continue to fall as well. These lanes are not going to be enough to defend against this. And again, the further this game continues, the better it is going to be for the defending world champion. I think it's kind of funny too, you know, the further that, like, we're going to look back at this game and we're going to say, wow, this was just a stomping. You know, this did not feel all that close for Oliveira. But I think realistically, it was just a matter of Oliveira getting the scout off. He had a good build opener, and he got so far at, well, I'm going to have to see. Maybe Ragnarok makes a comeback. But Oliveira had a good build. He had a good scout, and, well, he did a couple things right in the early game, and that makes it very hard for Ragnarok to come back. I mean, it's going to be I guess 1-1 is faster than 2-2 is, even still. These 2-2 upgrades are going to be done very, very quickly. Coming in from Oliveira right now as he splits backwards. The Banelings don't really get that great of connections as well. Actually, half the army of Ragnarok is not where it needs to be. So this is a massive sieged up position here. Is Ragnarok going to be able to break it? +3 attack is done right now. +3 armor, or +2 armor is done in 10 seconds. Banelings now, they're going to run forward. Tanks target fire is actually going to be really nice here to start, but the Banelings continue to run forward. Splits even still from Oliveira are not enough, folks, and the tanks stay alive. Ravagers will fall, Roaches will fall, and Oliveira continues his reign of dominance because there is not a lot left here for the Zerg anymore. The Banelings, the rest of them, they get targeted down. Yes, the tanks are dead, but folks, the bio is here, and it is here to stay for quite a while. Personal healings +2 versus +1 attack. That is it. And yeah, sure, a couple SCVs went down. Yeah, sure, Oliveira's going to have to back up for a second, but his rally continues to move forward. He's up 20 army supply. He's up 3 upgrades. And this is a meat grinder that Ragnarok is not going to very easily find his way out of. The Banelings are morphing, but they're going to all get targeted down. And as the Marauders, they run forward, it's going to be very difficult indeed for Ragnarok to dislodge this position. Now, there are some Banelings, of course, they run forward. But again, the target fire is nice. Banelings on the left side. Well, they're just going to get mown down, and Ragnarok, his second attempt, well, it's not going to work. It's actually going to work much worse than the first. Because again, the Lings, they're going to run forward. Banelings as well. But there are only 2 Banelings here. The tanks, they continue to shell away at this army. Files don't even get the tank. And it's a story of upgrades, folks. It's a story of supply. It's a story of the early game going incredibly well for the Chinese Terran. And the early game going well means the late game is going even worse. And Oliveira, well, he is primed to move Kaizi Gaming on into the next round of this playoffs, where they will play, I believe, the Shopify Rebellion on the next round. For now, Ragnarok doing what he can, but unfortunately, his day will follow his namesake. It's his day that is ended. Yeah, I mean, good on you, Ragnarok. I appreciate the temerity, but Liberators on all the outlying bases. Ragnarok had, he did have 4 bases behind this, but yeah. Ragnarok falls. Oliveira, maybe not quite as strong of a fist bump as we had in Katowice, but still a pretty strong fist bump. And he secures the victory there for Kaizi Gaming. They move on to place the Shopify Rebellion, I believe.